the I always had this drive to be with multiple women, and when I would try to express that,
in an emotional way or in like a sexual way or both?
Both.
Okay.
So there's the obvious sexual nature to it, and then it's really hard to describe. It was probably because I just didn't get a lot of love and support as a kid. And so the idea of multiple women there's something nurturing about that.
Yeah.
I like
the more women that love me, the better.
Yeah. That's the darker side of it.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it is a sense of community.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I talk to, I'm not gonna say her name. The picture of her right there, if you want to get visual. When I talk to her about it,
she's so cute.
I really like her.
She's a beautiful smile.
She's
gorgeous.
I don't believe I've ever felt this way about
really.
Her. Really.
I'm gonna cry. That's so special.
It is really like it's an indescribable feeling where I want to say this all got brought up. We never really talked until
not like in depth ever. Yeah. So I was like, hey, what's up? And then we started talking about her, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think I said like I never thought I would be happy.
Yeah.
And I sincerely mean that like my life has been so hard, I guess. And so now I have my own apartment, my own space. Mm-hmm. I still have my issues, but I'm working on it. I got my therapist.
Do you feel like you have like a grip on life, kind of?
Yeah.
More than you did before?
Way more. It was like life in existing was terrifying.
Yeah.
And now it just doesn't. It feels not even manageable. It feels good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's very good.
Thank you.
That's excellent.
Yeah. What about you and your life? I know you're going through a thing.
Life's been better. Life has been better. Yeah. It's God. Yeah.
Do you want to get into the?
I'll get into it. Okay. Let's do it.
Because I know we talked about. You're welcome to. You smoke, right?
I do. Yeah.
You're welcome to smoke here, by the way.
Oh hell yeah.
I know people enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's my little ashtray.
This is ashtray. Nice.
Yeah. My plate ashtray. I'll be eating eggs on it later. You were talking about your parents. Ooh, I'll put it in my own words.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, you have two parents. Wow. No, you have your mom, your dad.
Yeah.
And your dad seems to be sweet and kind, calm.
Yes.
Almost Mr. Rogers-esque.
Exactly.
And
like neutered almost.
We'll talk about masculinity. I gotta discuss masculinity. This is the notepad, by the way.
That's the pad?
This is the pad. People usually get concerned when I start writing in it.
Too bad you can't do that.
Yeah, right? There's goes my fucking pen. But here it is. And then your mom is narcissistic.
Yeah.
I think narcissism and ego is kind of, what's the word? Not synonymous, but redundant. But narcissistic, she has some mental things going on.
Yeah.
And
we're all convinced she's undiagnosed bipolar.
Okay.
Like have been for years. But
and bipolar is not manic depressive. That's something different.
I don't know I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just know that she gets manic, like crazy manic, and then she gets really bad and she gets really dark, and then she's back up and she's down and she's up and she's down, and it's been like that my whole life.
Right.
And we're always like we've joked about it since I was a kid, like, Mom, you're bipolar, haha. And like at a certain point it was like, no, it's not a joke anymore, like we think you're bipolar and you need help for it.
And she just refuses.
It's just a thing that like she doesn't even register. It's like she's like, no, I'm fine. Like she just doesn't think that she has any problems, and it's like, you're acting insane to everyone, just not to you. And
she recently filed for divorce.
Yeah, so it was like crazy. Like, I mean, I've like thinking about it, I'm like, oh no, they had their problems for a while. Like, I get it. Like, I remember being a kid and like a teenager and thinking I probably even said it to my mom, where I was just like, are you and Dad happy? Like, you both seem like you're just there together. Neither one of you seems like you're particularly living your best life. I'm like, are you guys happy? And she's like, yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah, it's always that. And it's just like, it was like that for so long that you just assume it's always going to be like that. Mm-hmm. And then she, like, one day, my dad was, she's been like going to hotels like every once in a while, every couple of weeks. Well, not every couple months. And then my dad recently retired, and he's just around so much that I was just like, oh, that's normal. Like, I guess I would be driven crazy if I was with somebody 24/7 too, like for sure. But she'd been going to hotels, and then my dad went away for 2 weeks on a camping trip. He came back, and the next day she left for a hotel, told him she just needed a day away, and then texted him that she was ending the marriage.
Do you think it's touchy? But do you think she was cheating?
Wow.
Ooh, oh shit. Okay.
Wow. Have I not told you this part?
No.
Oh, no. It gets so much crazier than you even think, dude.
Okay.
All right. So, that was our first instincts. It was like, it was so abrupt. It's not like it wasn't like a let's separate for a while, maybe get counseling. It was just like, she's like, I'm done. I don't want any more of this type of thing. So we're like, what is going on? I was like, it would make sense if she cheated. That's like kind of what all my friends were like. Yeah, if she cheated, like that would make the abruptness of it make more sense. We're like, no, I don't think she cheated, blah, 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 blah. So a couple days later, my dad's like going through it. I'm going through it with him, like whatever. He goes over to the house. So he had to leave the house because he's like, I can't be around all the memories. So he went to his sister's house. And my mom was staying in the house. And he went over to get something from her. And he found a dude hiding in the closet. Dude, literally in the closet. And it was not just like a person. It was a homeless person. Who's addicted to meth.
That's right. You were telling me.
I didn't remember if I told you that part or not.
You told me that she started dating a homeless man who was addicted to meth, but I didn't know about the closet situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this ties into her narcissism. It's interesting. So, if you met Tammy, you would think she's like the sweetest lady.
What was her name?
Tammy.
Okay.
Like you would like she'd like make you cookies, like you would think she's like Mrs. Doubtfire, you know, but like so she adopts these causes, like she gets really crazy about them, like and so her cause for like the last year and a half, she's nuts, she's like anti-COVID, like she thinks that's all a scheme, like she's really out there. But she decided homeless people were like her mission like 2 years ago. And so she started like making them like weekly meals, like nice stuff, you know, seemingly like, and then she got like obsessed with it. And then she started doing like clothing drives. And now it's like, she's literally trying to start a nonprofit. And then this woman cannot manage a bank account. Like my dad had a good job. We were like poor growing up because she just spent all the money, like crazy. And she's like trying to run a nonprofit, literally rented out a house for these homeless people, her homeless friends. I don't know where she's getting the money for because my dad can't afford it. I think donations. I don't know.
Okay.
And now she's fucking one.
Right.
Which is like all credibility is gone. And it's like you didn't want to do this for them anyways. You clearly were doing this for yourself.
Right. It's an ego trip.
To make yourself feel better.
I assume your mom's never going to listen to this.
She can. Tammy, if you're listening.
When you get to a point where you're calling your mom by her first name, there's a real separation.
Yeah, it's bad.
So how did your dad react?
To which part?
The closet because in my head I'm like, I'm fucking you up now. There's a problem.
Well, he's like such a like meek person. Like,
right.
Never would get physically violent with anybody ever. So I don't remember the specifics, but I think he just like left in a panic, like stressed out, whatever. Got in a car accident on his way out of the house, like leaving. Totaled the car. Crazy. It's crazy, right?
I'm very curious because we talked a little bit of this outside Lincoln Lodge. And I know you said that you see a little bit of yourself in both of them, or her, or
not too much of my dad. Well, my dad's my stepdad.
Okay, that's
yeah.
It's
no, it's okay. We're always like drinking and high.
Right. And I told you I have a memory thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you didn't tell me that.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's all good. I don't have a memory thing, and I still remember nothing.
Perfect. Then we'll do a lot of this over and over again. Now I'll tell you about the memory thing off because I've said it so many times on the podcast. But okay, so stepdad.
Yeah, he's like my dad, like since I was a baby, like whatever. So I see a lot of myself in my real dad. Definitely, he's a villain too. But yeah, my mom for sure. She's
How does that make you feel about yourself? Like okay, so for me right now, I'm processing my trauma with my family.
Sure.
And I'm coming to accept here's what I've picked up from my mom.
Yeah.
And that's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
What it sounds like, and you seem very sweet. I don't know. We don't know each other, so I guess we'll see what happens. But
we know each other. We're not strangers, Aaron. Damn.
All right. You ready for more honesty?
Yeah.
Okay. You being here is scary to me.
Really?
Yeah. Because you're a presenting white woman. I don't know what's inside of you and blood wise, but I've come to realize I have like a phobia. I have a phobia of
my
white
God.
women from other types of abuse,
Like
which
past
I'll
traumas and stuff.
Yeah, let me tell you
Yeah.
that. I'll write down the stories. I'll tell you at
Yeah.
the end of the thing. Here was it. My podcast is sloppy as fuck. Okay.
What happened the other way?
There's a fear. There's a fear, and I don't believe you would do this. It's not an issue.
Yeah.
But there's a fear of like, being someone lying about
Being
something.
accused of something.
Being accused of something I didn't do.
No,
because
fully.
I
I
don't
get
know who's
that.
gonna believe me.
Oh, I don't get it, but like I understand
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And so I'm working through that phobia and realizing like, okay, follow your gut.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if my gut is telling me, oh, I shouldn't be around this person,
Mm-hmm.
follow that. If my gut's telling me, you're fine, you're great,
Yeah.
but it's a process.
No,
thing.
for sure.
But fuck what we say. This is gonna be a weird one. Things that you've gotten from your parents. What do you get from your parents where you're like, oh, this is me, and clearly this is from them?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I feel like my mom, she operates on like pure emotion, like 100% of the time, like no logic whatsoever. And I find myself doing that if I don't keep it in check. And I feel like my mom and I are similar in the way I think we feel similarly, like things impact us a very similar way. But I think the difference is how I choose to differentiate that once I feel something, and how then the lens through which I feel that thing, and then I'm trying to be aware of my emotions. I'm trying, like nobody's like perfect or whatever, but I like in a sense that like I don't want to hurt people, so I'm trying to control my emotions so that I can present them in a way that is healthy for the people around me. And it's like she just has no ability to do that,
Right.
because of her past traumas or like whatever. She just never learned or blah blah blah.
Did something happen to her that you're aware of?
I think so. I'm not like aware of anything.
Right.
I think there's like
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's like 70s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a wild time.
Oh, absolutely.
People
absolutely.
were hitchhiking.
Yeah.
That's-
it. Like shit went on. I'm certain, but like at a certain point, it's like you're a grown adult at this. Like you can't. Your children can't be expected to bear the weight of your sins, or your trauma, or your whatever.
Right. I feel like the generation, the baby boomers, I believe they would be.
Yeah, she's like right below baby. She might be a boomer. She's like on the cusp. Whatever.
Like
Doesn't matter.
a late boomer. I think my mom's also a late boomer.
Yeah.
They're really not the greatest generation.
they're just so fucked up from their parents, right? Like it's a whole cycle.
It's a cycle and it keeps getting passed on,
Yeah.
and it feels like our generation, I don't know if it's what it is, but it feels like we're trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Which
I think we're
is
more
nice.
aware.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah, we have the internet. It's like
We have more access to information that they didn't, for sure.
Did all of this stuff lead you to do stand up? Yeah, what is your stand up origin?
I think, interestingly enough, like my mom always loved me a bunch. Like she's like a good mom in the sense that like we always felt loved and cared for sure. So like she always made me feel like I was like the most special person in the whole world. And I think that like narcissism, again, we have that, my mom and I have that in common. I think that like, oh, I'm fucking awesome. Like I love, and I'm certain you feel a similar, not in that way, but like when you're around people, you're like, yeah, I like, people listening to me. Like it's fun to like for people to hear my thoughts.
Ooh, when stand up or outside of stand up?
I was thinking stand up. How do you feel when you do stand up?
When I do stand up, I feel comfortable. It's when I feel weirdly, it's when I feel the most comfortable.
I feel like it's opposite for me. That's interesting.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's break
Well,
this down.
you were talking earlier too about how like for you it's like an expression thing.
Yeah.
And for me it's more performance.
Interesting.
I feel like I want a distance from my actual self and my character on stage.
Oh, we gotta discuss this more because for me it's like I think you're seeing the most me when I'm doing stand up.
Yeah.
Or when I'm doing the podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast, it's safe. It's one on one
space. That, you feel
Lincoln Lodge gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
I fucking every time I go there, I'm like, there's just too much.
Yeah,
too
there's
many
a lot
people,
going on. Always.
Too many personalities.
Yes.
But one on one, I feel a little more myself. But
comics too tend to like talk over each other and like just try to scream the loudest.
It's a lot,
and it's a nightmare.
But when I'm doing stand up, it feels like everyone has to listen to me. And growing up, nobody listened to me.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, oh, this is my moment. This is my time. And I think that's why sometimes I will sacrifice comedy for just saying a thing, because this is my time to say whatever I want. Right. You're going to hear what I'm going to say, whether you like it or not.
Right.
But it sounds like you perform. Please regale me.
Yeah. That was so interesting how like, yeah. Well, yeah, for me, it's like totally like a character. Like, well, I mean, I'm getting a little bit less away from that. I'm trying to do like, I do vulnerable things. Like I do talk about all this stuff in my stand-up stuff, but it's like from the perspective of like, I don't want to access it on an emotional level. So I'm going to make jokes about it so that I don't have to think about how much it sucks type of thing. Yeah. So I'm like playing this almost like anti-hero version of myself, I guess.
Dean, you said you were trying to pull away from that, or are you trying to?
Not necessarily. Well, I am trying to like, I'm not necessarily, I like that there's a distance. Like I don't want people to be like, oh my God, she's the exact same as she is on stage, off stage. Cause I say terrible things on stage. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm
gonna pay attention.
I've had jokes about like molesting my nephew, like crazy. Like, and like especially when I was first started, cause it was all about the writing and I was just doing whatever got a laugh, whatever. But I say terrible. I'm like, I'm not that person. That's just a character I'm playing. I'm trying to be able to do that while doing things that are more personal to me.
Do you feel like, I feel like that is I mean, I'm biased. I respect one-liner comics like Anthony Jeselnik. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I really can't say enough positive things about that style because I can't fathom it.
Yes.
Or
that's how I feel about like rant comics.
Ooh, or like a Doug Stanhope type.
Yeah, or like are you the type of comic? Do you write your jokes? Do you write them all down, or do you have concepts?
I'm in a transition period of my comedy, so right now, like that little whiteboard is starting to become an example. Yeah. So Viola Davis, Queen. Yeah, Viola Davis. She's powerful. She would play a great Harriet Tubman. But.
Cynthia Erivo played it in that. Did you see the new one, Harriet or whatever?
There's another one.
Well, it was a couple years ago.
Oh, I've not seen it.
Oh, I didn't see it either, but she's a great Broadway star.
Did you see that Will Smith is coming out with a slave movie?
Hasn't he done those? Is there another one?
I don't think he's done a slave movie. The picture of the dude with the fucked up back and he's kind of So he's playing that guy. Oh my God. And the trailer came out. Apparently it's one of his greatest performances ever, but it's post slap, so I don't know.
Can we relax about the slap?
Okay, yeah, we're all over the whatever. Okay, let me write this down.
No, we were talking about.
Okay, so we got we got to talk about the slap because I have feelings about that. We got and then writing, and then I'm so sorry, my few fans. There's actual fans of this, which is crazy.
They're out. They're listening.
Writing process. So I have a thought or an opinion, and then I try to word that thought or opinion in as few words as possible, and then I just write lined. What is that? That's a not bar graph. What is that? That's a what is that?
Bubble chart, right?
Sure.
One of those.
I just write words and thoughts and associate. I just let myself. What do I associate with this? And I don't think about the joke. Then I try to find the most creative way to describe.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, what I've tried to say. That's what I do now.
I like that.
What
did you used to do?
I used to be rigid as fuck. I used to. It has to be a setup and a punchline. This is a rule of 3, and this is a bait and switch. And I would think about the sentence over and over again, and I wouldn't write anything down. For some reason, that box is filled with old pictures and my old notebooks, which I refuse to take out right now. But I would say it in my head over and over, and I would try to piece it together, and it was so rigid. And now that I feel more myself, I feel more fluid. Yeah. And I'm mostly, if my guys are Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. Yeah. And I want to emulate's probably not the right word, but I'm using emulate. I want to emulate that as much, and they feel so
be influenced by it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at. What about you?
Yeah, I love that. See, that's what I'm trying to do too. I'm a very much like I need to write out my jokes. I want to know my punches. I want to know my hits and all that stuff. And I still want that, but with that understanding of like be fluid with it. Let it flow. You can be. it doesn't have to be perfect type of thing. Because sometimes the best stuff is like not planned.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea of improv. Not that we're gonna get into improv, but
Yeah. Oh, did you do improv?
no. Are you a fan of improv?
I did it for 10 years.
You did?
Mm-hmm. I
Wow.
did it. Yeah.
I would never have guessed that.
Oh, thank you. I think. Yeah. I'm in retrospect and in seeing improv a little more from a comedian stand-up comics perspective. How do I word this? I don't like the culture of improv.
Interesting.
The culture of improv to me is filled with, this is nothing specific to anybody I've spoken to on the podcast. I have talked to improvisers, and I do want to talk to more improvisers on the podcast because it's interesting seeing this headbutting that's going on.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because like we're so similar in most senses, you know, stand-ups and improvs.
They come off to me as the annoying type of white liberal.
Yes, I see that. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
And it's
weirdly, I don't know. You're a black person. I'm not.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the white people in both scenes, they seem like white liberals, whereas stand-ups feel like white conservatives.
Yeah.
Stand-up feels more conservative. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I mean
that's talking about the white people.
That is fairly conservative in the sense that they like to be offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like interest. It's just you trying to be an edgelord to be like,
yeah,
cool.
And it's funny because growing up around white people, I get it's weird. I get it. I'm really working on myself. If you listen to this podcast from the beginning to where it is now, there's a lot of anger, and I'm trying to let it go.
Yeah.
But my issue with both is the same reason I have an issue politically with both. I just put it. White stand-up comics, I'm thinking of the males in particular, have at least will say what they're thinking and feeling. I don't necessarily like what they're saying and feeling all the time, but at bare minimum, you're not trying to trick me. I get that. At least I know where you stand. When I go around these improv groups, there's this tension, and it's palpable. It's really something that you feel like. There's this feeling of like, I know you're thinking fucked up stuff, and you just don't want to say it. And in a weird way, I appreciate, like, that's really respectful that you're trying to be a good person. Yeah. But it's in there, and
but it's also like you are curbing it because you know it's wrong,
right?
And yet you still feel this way,
right? And to make a point to you as a woman, I'm trying to work on that in myself. Like, I don't want to.
White women are the most heinous people on this earth. So, like, I get it. No, like, I get it. Like, we are doing nothing to help ourselves look good. Like,
well, it's funny because I used to have those feelings of 18, 19, 20. Like, I used to, if I was 18, 19 now, and I was like listening to Andrew Tate, I'd be like, "This is fucking awesome." But in enough life experience and taking and listening to other people's perspective, like that Me Too shit fucked me up. I talked to friends, female friends, and I got all of theirs. I was like, "Oh, everyone's been raped."
Yeah. It's most of them. Most of us.
Yeah. And then I've had female friends that I know now we're good, who have said, "No, yeah, you made me uncomfortable," and I don't even remember, like, the story she told me. I don't even remember it because it's not even.
It didn't register for you because it didn't scare you.
Right. It doesn't scare me. It was just how
unintentional, probably. I'm assuming.
Not malicious, but when she described it, I was like, oh, I can see why. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. And so I'm just in a place of trying to be as calm and understanding as possible, while also keeping myself alive, if that makes
100%
sense.
No, it totally does. Well, Chappelle, I fucking love Chappelle too.
He's my
I don't know why he needs to be so transphobic, but like that's a whole.
You
other
see
thing.
That's a whole.
That's a whole other thing. But
we can talk about it if you want.
He's goated. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. But his one special, the Bird Revelation, where he's sitting. That's my favorite of all time. That's my favorite stand-up special of all time. Where he's talking about how white women, he's like, no, you got away with the heist too. You just didn't like your cut. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. And he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. It's like, no, we're still doing better than everybody else, but it's like, you're just mad because yeah, of course white men are on top. They always will be. Like,
it's hard. It's a fascinating, what is it? Intersectionality, I think is the right word. That's a difficult thing to deal with because it requires subtlety, and we don't have that anymore. Not to say, I don't know if we ever had
with
it.
the internet, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Like, one of the things I would do, I'm trying to so I was talking to my therapist. I've only done one session, but he gave me this book. He gave me the 4 Agreements. I don't know if you've read that.
I have had friends that have read it. I've not read it.
Basically,
I've heard good things.
Yeah, the concept is these 4 belief systems. I gotta look them up because I literally just started reading it. Hold on, let me find it. Here, the 4 Agreements. I don't have a Jamie to talk to.
You have a great voice. Have you been on radio?
No. I did try to start doing an audiobook series on YouTube.
I would totally listen. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a great voice for it.
Time. Thank you.
Fair.
Be impeccable with your word, meaning don't talk shit about yourself, don't talk shit about other people. Don't take anything personally. So understanding that everyone's experiencing life through their own lens and they're behaving the way they are because of what they are experiencing. Don't make assumptions. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Meaning you will never get these first 3 right, and just do your best.
Yeah.
It is okay. Now, there's some issues I have with some of the book, but I'll talk to my therapist about that.
Sure.
But
in theory, I'm like all on board, but I'm also, it feels like kind of the secret-y.
Yeah.
It feels a little white woman-y. It feels like Oprah got her hands on it. Even though she's black. But you know what I mean. You know what white women be loving Oprah.
It's a feeling. There's a little bit of like, I mean, don't take anything personal. Some things should be taken personally. Like when you open your closet and there's a homeless man doing meth or whatever, fucking your wife,
Right.
like that's a time to be like,
personal.
it's a personal thing. But I'm trying the general idea of it. I'm trying to take in with myself. The slap.
The what?
The slap.
The slap?
I'm going back to another thing now. Remember the Will Smith and the slap?
Oh, that slap. Yeah. I do remember it.
I'm curious because you were like, we want to move past it.
I just don't understand why. Like, okay, what's his face?
Chris Rock.
What's that?
Chris Rock?
No, I'm talking about something even different. So, like, okay, I understand that this is not a thing. Escort him out of the building, whatever. He can't be at the Oscars this year. That's fine. Who cares? You can't physically assault people. Like, that's whatever. That's the general rule. Whatever. But, like, the guy who made the piano teacher or whatever the fuck that movie was, like, that was a pedophile, fled the country, won his Oscar, and then Meryl Streep stood up for him and clapped and said it's about the art. That guy was gonna like get an Oscar? Like, it's fucking insane. Say it's because he's black.
Yeah.
Say it's because he's a black guy. And then and then obviously Chris Rock's a black guy too. So I feel like people are like, no, it's justified. And it's like, no, you'll do anything to like make a black guy look bad. Like, don't tell me you won't.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Please tell me I am so much more interested in your perspective.
It's hard because are you a Marvel fan?
No.
Oh man. Okay. Then this is what is there? Fuck.
I'm not a Marvel villain. Like, I don't hate Marvel.
Have you watched them up into not fuck all these recent ones up until Infinity War?
I didn't know.
Okay. Do you have heroes? Who are your heroes? Who are the people that you grew up being like, oh, I want to be like that person?
Like Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
And is
like
there
Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball and Stevie Nicks. That's a weird combination. But imagine if Stevie Nicks slapped Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
Growing up, you're 26, I'm 31. What year were you born in?
96.
96. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was born in 91. And for me, Chris Rock and Will Smith and like Denzel Washington were the only 3 guys. These were the guys.
Yeah.
And it was like
were you an Eddie Murphy guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
who couldn't be? Yeah.
But it's it's not like nowadays where there's all of these different perspectives and you have the internet and everyone's got movies and it's diversity and all that. It's like there was Chris Rock, there was Will Smith.
Yeah.
And to watch one of your heroes slap your other hero, it's so complicated because on one end, as a comic, I'm like, no, fuck you. No. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, Will Smith has been perfect for 30 years. He hasn't done anything wrong. This is his one time. But then I'm also like, yeah, but these are celebrities and they have money. There's so many angles to it. So emotionally, it's hard. I don't even know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how
interesting. Yeah, because my emotions have no play now. I'm just like, this is just a thing that happened. Yeah.
Did you grow up in Chicago?
No, upstate New York.
Okay, you don't sound happy about that.
It's just like boring. There was nothing to do. Like my city had like 30,000 people in it. It was.
Okay, I've never been to New York.
Oh yeah, no.
So when upstate is not the city.
No. Upstate is like everywhere that's not the city. And my part, so of like this is New York, and New York City's over here. I was like over here, like in the boonies. Like when you think of like Pennsylvania, like farms, that's kind of like the idea.
Okay, so this is like when I tell people I'm from California, and then they're like, "Oh, L.A." It's like, no. I'm from California.
Yeah.
Okay, and you weren't happy with it?
I mean, it was fine. It was like a dying city, little shitty ass city, and like nothing interesting ever happened. I was very glad to leave. Very excited to leave.
When did you leave?
So I moved to.
Would you like drugs, by the way?
I love drugs.
Okay, cool.
So I went to school in Binghamton, which was like an hour away. That was like my first when I was like 20, like to go to college. And then I moved to Pittsburgh when I was 23. Yeah, 23 for 2 years. And that was my first big move. And then I moved here a year ago.
A year ago?
Yeah.
Sure, new.
Yeah, kind of. When did you move here?
Fucking year
I think
ago.
just recently, right before I did, I think. What month did you come?
Oh, fuck, what was it?
Like the end of August, beginning of September last year is when I moved.
Okay, I was... What's before August?
Yeah. I remember you saying something like that. I'm like, oh, shit, he's new too. Yeah.
Really new. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
What is... Can we, when all this is over, can we hang out and hit mics and stuff together?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, cool.
Hell yeah, dude.
What was your experience when you first moved here? Like, how did you...
Loved it. I was so excited. I was so excited immediately.
Please regale me.
Well, like, I was doing comedy in Pittsburgh, and, like, that's fine, but it, like scene sucks. Like, especially after COVID, it's like, there's nothing there. And it's all, like the dudes you see in Chicago that are just, like, dude bros. I'm going to do edgy jokes. Like, that's all there is in Pittsburgh. Like, that's the whole thing. So I moved here, and I was like, oh, my God, people are, like, interesting here. Like, they have more than one opinion. Like, it's so fun. And people are nice, too.
Yeah.
People are nice in the Midwest, which is very fun.
Yes. I have, yes. I think I like city Midwest nice because when I go out to the...
Yeah, I've never really strayed too far.
Thankfully. I went out to, I did a show with Rachel Hall in bumfuck, Illinois. We did a, what is it, a corporate gig?
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, what's up?
I said, how was that? I've never done a corporate gig.
Interesting.
Sounds like kind of stuffy.
This is their time to not be stuffy. This is when they're right. This is when they're not at work.
Yeah.
And so we get up there. Also, I'm working on it. Okay. Okay. Before I even say what I'm gonna say, because it's a process. I'm working on not apologizing for how I speak or what I speak about.
Okay.
I'm trying to accept my experiences are my experiences. They have colored and shaped my life, and that's okay that I speak about them. We're gonna talk about race again. Okay. So we get up there, and it's a black woman that booked us because she saw Rachel at Laugh Factory and was like, "Oh, this is my moment to have black people around me."
Yeah.
And up to bumfuck Illinois, do our sets, and for them it's like spicy and crazy. Oh, comedians, and they're like, let's go to this bar. And so we're driving through fucking Illinois, and not. That's the thing. It's like it's not Chicago. It's Illinois.
Yeah.
And I'm getting used to the Midwest. I'm from California, where don't get me wrong, we have our fucked up places, but it doesn't have the history. Like, I'm driving through places where I'm like, oh, that had to have been a fucking lynch tree. Like, we're driving through what used to be sundown towns, and it's palpable. You can feel it.
Jesus Christ.
And so we go into this bar. We go in this bar, and it's everything.
What you think it would be.
It's the fucking same Bass Pro fisherman hat and fucking boots. And someone has a gun in there. I'm sure of it. And you would have thought that the fucking record scratched when we walked. Like, people saw us and, like, was looking at us. And this isn't anything new for my life, but it was in in having distance and working my shit out, I've come to realize that like I've pushed down this trauma and I didn't accept that like this is actually really bad. I would always, when people, I did it with Max on the way up to our show. I was telling him stories, and after every story, he's like, "That's really fucked up," and I'm like, He's like, no, that's really fucked up.
That's exactly how he sounds too. No.
Max is great. By the way.
I do love Max. Max is a sweetie.
You should hit the road with him one day. He's a very good driving buddy.
Yeah.
But he let me have the aux cord.
Well, he just has taste. He knows his limitations.
There you go. But so we're going in there, getting stares or whatever, and it was like I'm getting to a place where I'm like, okay, just accept you're not going to change these people's minds. It's not going to matter.
That's a tough pill.
Yeah.
To swallow.
Yeah. My whole comment, if you talk, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people didn't like me where I was from because I'm sure I came off pretentious because I am in a lot of ways. Because a lot of my stuff that I wrote was like trying to explain to white people, like, no, you don't, you're being really racist. Yeah. Like in my head, I was like, if I just do it, if it's funny enough, or if it makes enough logical sense, or if I go appeal it, every angle I took to try to express, it's really bad. And I don't think you realize that.
Right.
Walking in there, it was like, am I going to get a mic and talk to all these people? It's not going to matter. Apparently, and I didn't notice this, but apparently, there's an old white dude behind me staring daggers at me, like furious. I didn't realize it. Rachel noticed. And I went to the bathroom, and I guess he followed me into the bathroom. And I reckon when she had told me about that later, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. He didn't pee. He was just there. and like I could tell you story after story of that night alone.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But we were leaving, and as we're walking out, these two guys, it was like, clearly one was like the lackey and one was the leader, but there's that weird dynamic. But he's like, hey, as we're leaving, don't know who this is, haven't talked to him. And I turn around and he's like, you're good people. And then he puts his fist out for a fist bump, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this fist bump so I don't die tonight, so I'm not so I'm not on Fox News as like, oh, this weed head went and attacked an entire bar with his marijuana joint. Like, right. I was like, cool, thanks, man. I don't fucking know this guy. So I don't know what he's going on through his head. It's the physical trauma. I've jumped fights, all that stuff. I'll tell you the stories at the end of the thing. So it's this constant fight or flight, and I'm finally getting to this place, and it's a hard place to get to, but I'm finally getting this place of like, oh, it just is what it is. Like, I'm not going, what is it? Let me, for the 4 agreements, let me
get your
bust this bitch out. Hold up.
Agreements.
It says, don't take anything personally. So when that guy follows me into the bathroom, obviously it's not okay. It makes me fucking angry, and I'm going to talk to the therapist about it. But, I'm going to change his mind. Like, I'm living my life. I didn't die. I'm here now. Let's just keep moving. And it's kind of where I'm at. It's hard, but it's where I'm at.
Damn.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add. Wow.
Can I ask? Okay, so.
Yeah, ask whatever you want.
On the way up to Indiana, this is my second trip with Max to Indiana. Max, we're going to talk about you a lot. I love you, man. But
shout out, Max.
So on the way up, I'm telling him these stories. I'll tell you some of the same stories when the mic's off. But to me, and I know it's not okay, but it's still just normal. And I would tell him these stories, and he's shocked. Yeah. And you seem a little, I don't know if shocked is the right word, but you seem surprised.
Yeah. It's like sad.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not often in white spaces with other black folks. So when I'm in these white spaces, I'm just a white person in a white space. I make no difference, If I'm with black folks, it's in like a space where a lot of other black folks are usually, at a comedy club, at a wherever, or hanging with friends, So, and it's like in those scenarios, obviously nobody's going to be blatantly racist and crazy. So it's like I hear these things, and it's like I know that exists. I know, but it's like hearing them firsthand is And now I also am registering that, like, oh, that's my uncle. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, no, like, that's how people you personally know and interact with behave or would behave if given that you're just not around them in those scenarios.
It's interesting. It's because you, Max, fucking most of the people, if you look through these pictures, all these people have been great, by the way. I love Chicago.
Yeah.
This is the greatest comedy scene.
It's got a great scene, dude.
I don't know, I might clip this one.
You guys look well, that is you, but like your pose is the exact same.
I'm probably going to make a lot of this. I wish I had somebody to take the picture. I had someone in this situation. But like this scene is filled with really sweet, beautiful people that, and sometimes it feels like a lot of these comics don't even realize it because they've been in the scene so long. But coming from where you came from and only have been here a year, I'm sure you know what I mean. Like, I came here cagey as fuck. Mm-hmm. I came here like in fight or flight mode, and I didn't trust anybody, and I was really quiet. Was watching people. And then the podcast, as the more people I talked to on the podcast, the more I was like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Some of these people's personalities annoy me. Some of this has been a little awkward. Sure. I'm sure there's people that don't like me, but by and large, like this is a scene of beautiful, fascinating, unique,
cool people,
really cool people.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've never like, have you been to LA?
No, I have not.
No shade to LA. I'm working on not being as aggressive about it. If you went to my other,
the four agreements.
Okay.
Don't take anything personally.
Be impeccable with your word.
There you go.
Okay. So no shade about it, but the vibe in LA is sticky. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like it is.
Crunchy.
It is. People think of LA as the spot because it's where people go to get famous.
Right.
And the type of person that wants to get famous is that type of person there. Don't get me wrong. Great comedians out there. It's like the top of the top are in LA. Mm-hmm. And then the disparity between it is crazy.
Yeah, totally.
And I can't speak on New York, and I've been to New York. And I'm surprised you didn't move to New York, to be honest with you.
It was like too much. I couldn't go there now. Maybe I want to go in like 2-3 years when I'm ready.
Fair enough.
You know.
Well, New York is New York. I can't speak on it.
Yeah.
But Chicago, it's rough. It's hard. People will roast you. It is. But
you get the most stage time here, though.
Yeah. Believe it? Yeah.
Anywhere. I mean, maybe Austin. I've never been to Austin, but like, per like, you know, pound for pound, like in terms of like how many mics you can hit, how many shows you can get booked on, I feel like this is the place to be.
Yeah.
New York is, I don't know how LA is really, but like New York is so, you have to pay to be on mics and you get 2 minutes.
Oversaturation.
Great. And you just so many bad people and they don't have time or energy to get good.
Yes.
Because you have to pay to be in New York too.
Yes.
You're in New York. God damn.
It's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
LA, I can't speak on LA too much because I wasn't there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I was in San Diego for a little bit, dry as fuck.
Yeah. Was it in San Diego?
Dry as fuck.
What's it? Do you like San Diego as a city though?
I think I was born in the wrong place. To compare myself to trans women. Speaking of which, I got to talk about that and masculinity.
Yeah, we do. Ooh, they tie in together, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. We got to talk about that shit. Please don't let me forget trans and masculinity.
Trans people and masculinity. Yeah.
So,
my favorite topics.
I don't think I was born in the right place. Like, I know that people keep saying, like, oh, I have this California vibe.
You look the part, definitely. Well, that's like, do you know Brooke Whitehead?
Yeah.
He also feels like he should be from California. He's like, no.
Yeah, he's from fucking Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The California vibe is a pothead, is what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And yeah, so like I've embraced, like, I guess, hey, if this is my vibe, this is my vibe, and I don't. You know, that's
it's not a negative vibe.
It's not negative, and it makes me stand out in a place that I need to stand out in.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking at it as a positive to the best of my ability.
Yeah. 4 minutes. Get him out.
But like, there's something to be said about seasons. People out here don't appreciate that they don't appreciate. It's like, trust me, you don't want to be in a place where it is 90 degrees every single day.
Yeah.
You lose track of time.
Yeah.
And
ooh, interesting.
Yeah, like your perception of time in California is completely different because it looks the same. I was in fucking basketball shorts and a tank top outside in Christmas 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like sweating.
Yeah.
Like I needed the AC. I can look out this window and I can see time go by.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so it's been really.
That's a pretty way to say it.
Thank
That's
you.
poetic.
I have dreadlocks.
Cool guy me.
but it. How do we get on this? California, LA, Chicago is it. This has been one of the more transformative points in my life. It's been so important. Do you drive?
I do, yeah.
Okay, can we hit out of state mics so we can talk more? Because the podcast.
No, we totally should.
Cool.
I would love to.
Yeah, I'll give you gas
I would
money.
love
The podcast is putting parameters on this that I don't want.
Yeah.
Do you have a podcast?
I don't.
Okay.
I used to do a podcast years ago.
What I'm realizing, what I respect about Bill Burr so much is he's able to make his podcast. It's still him, but he is different he's not telling the same goddamn story.
Right.
And I think the issue I'm running into with this podcast is by meeting these same people over and over, I'm telling the same shit.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out what to do about that. But regardless, moving out here was indescribably the best. Quarantine.
COVID.
Yeah. Quarantine.
Shout out to her.
One of the best, most important, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for quarantine.
Damn, really?
I'm so happy.
Damn.
So happy.
That's
quarantine
big.
Yeah. It was so bad. I'm finally accepting that, like, no, this was really bad.
Yeah.
Not in a funny way, not in like a ooh, like no, this is really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if have you ever watched Lovecraft Country?
I've not.
Okay. I'm going to trust you with something very important.
Okay.
To me. Okay?
Okay. I'm ready. I'm just nervous. I don't know what you're about to say.
Okay. I like this intensity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna describe all of this, and then I'll try to trust you with a thing.
Okay.
Okay. Lovecraft Country is a. Do you know H.P. Lovecraft?
Like.
Do you know Cthulhu? Have you seen Rick and Morty?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know in the very end of Rick and Morty's opening, that big monster with the face?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
That's Cthulhu.
Okay.
That comes from H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft is a writer from the late 1800s, early 1900s.
My only reference for these things is board games.
Okay. You know what?
So white.
I got a great voice. Let me use it. Let me put it to work describing shit.
Give it to me.
So H.P. Lovecraft was a revolutionary horror writer. He created the genre of cosmic horror. So when you think about Rick and Morty, it's a comedy, but it's cosmic horror. It is the idea. The fear comes from, or the darkness comes from you don't even fathom what's even happening.
Right.
Like, it's so beyond what a human can understand. Like, Cthulhu is supposed to represent what can't be represented. Mm-hmm. And that's terrifying. Great writer. Racist as shit. Like an openly piece of shit racist is the 1900s. I mean, what are you going to do? Like an absolute racist. And he wrote books where the main villains are just black people.
Yeah,
from what I gather.
That's the villainy.
Those are the monsters. So
Damn.
Lovecraft Country it turns it on its head. It's acknowledging it pays homage to the wonderful horror writing while also putting it in the lens of black people. Mm-hmm. So it's set in, I want to say, the 40s or 50s, like right before Emmett Till died in 55, so it's a little before Emmett Till, so like 1953, maybe 54. And I won't spoil it, and I can't spoil it. There's only one season, so it's about these characters in Chicago. If you watch it,
I will watch it now.
There's going to be a train stop, and I'm not going to tell you which. You will never look at the same because they used it. Anyway, so this series is revolutionary to me. It's like when Jordan Peele made Get Out. Mm-hmm. You seen Get Out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
I've never seen anything anything like it. And it was from my perspective, and it was a type of horror that I've tried to describe in the beginning of this conversation. It's a whole horror. Like it's funny because I don't want to be insulting to you because you're.
No, I don't care. Insult me.
Right, but I don't know. And we're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So I want to be honest, but not insulting. And that's a hard line to find when you're implying someone's going to lie
it's
about.
Okay if you cross it too. It's like, you find out where you figure it out.
I appreciate your patience.
Yeah. No.
There's a whole horror movie about this one thing I'm trying to describe.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, that's like, it is so palpable, so like exactly what I've experienced. I would have voted for Obama for a third time. Yeah. I've had so many times I've had that conversation.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, because you're surrounded. Totally. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
And so this show presents racism in a way that is so accurate to what I've experienced.
Because I'm assuming black folks wrote it.
Yes.
It's obviously like.
Well, the book was based off a white dude, and then a black woman, I think, was the head show.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And it is, when you watch it, and this is the thing I run into, where I'm like, okay, am I trying to convince you to understand, or am I suggesting a show right now? Part of me is like, no, you'll watch it and then get it, but it's like, no, you're not, and that's okay. That's the thing I think I need to accept is like, I'm going to express these ideas and you seem to understand it to a point that you can understand it.
Right.
But it's never going to fully click,
right.
and I need to accept that. That's the part that I struggle with. Regardless, when you watch it, it is the most accurate depiction visually of the type of racism I've personally experienced. It's crazy. And so there's a second to last episode is about the Tulsa massacre. Mm-hmm. Do you know about the Tulsa massacre?
This is Black Wall Street, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know about what happened?
Yes.
Okay. That was the episode that was the crux for me to go to therapy.
Really?
I watched it, and when you see the pictures of Tulsa, when you see it, like, it's always in black and white, or it's burnt up, or it's someone's old-timey journal in cursive that nobody can read. Yeah. And it feels
like disconnected from time almost.
It feels very like, well, this happened in the past. Yeah. Because that's what they want you to feel. They want you to think, well, this is the past.
It's perfect now. Yeah.
And we got it. We got it down now.
Totally.
The Jews won't replace us. Kanye's right. Like, all of it.
Totally.
So when I learned about it, which I learned in like my late 20s, I should have known that shit in middle school probably, if we're being realistic. But when I learned about it, it was always like, well, that's a thing that happened. It's really bad, but it's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
But the show is not in black and white, and there's something about something being in black and white that allows you to.
Yeah, it's like it's not real.
Yeah,
it's like suspended from reality.
I Love Lucy. It's Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
She's squishing the grapes.
Yeah.
Like but it's in color.
Totally. And
they recreated the goddamn town, and they showed black people walking, just living their lives, and you really could feel like, oh, this must have been what this place was kind of like. And it wasn't perfect. There was still drama within the show.
Right.
But it was like, oh, this is a thriving black community. This is the pinnacle of pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They did it. They fucking did it. Yep. And everywhere surrounding was poor and shitty. And these people made something perfect. It was insular. It worked on its own. It obviously
self-sustaining. It
was self-sustaining. Yeah. It was its own community. It was perfect. And when I watched these, I watched it get burnt to the ground. And I watched, there's scenes in there where just a group of white hooligans are surrounding people and getting out guns. And there's this thing, these actors are amazing, by the way, because these particular actors, and I'm speaking on the white actors in the show, capture I don't know what, maybe they're great actors. Maybe they just feel a little bit.
Maybe they're just part of the KKK.
Yeah, maybe they just found some people in Mississippi and were like, you want to be in this show?
Well, yeah.
But But these actors nail exactly what it is to be surrounded by them.
Yeah.
I will stop talking soon because have you ever, this is a silly question probably. Have you ever been jumped?
No.
Okay. I know it's a silly question, but.
Well, it's not from, again, experiences, right? Like the lens through which you see the world.
So this is a darker question for you, and it's more personal, and it's from a female.
Do it.
Have you been raped?
I have not.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah. I'm one of the rare ones. I know, like, yeah, I can maybe have a handful of women I know on my hand that have not been.
Okay. I will continue I want to make sure that this is understood on a personal level.
No, yeah.
Have you ever been around a group of guys or in a bar and you were like, this doesn't feel safe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ever had a guy look at you where it's shark eyes? He's not looking at you as a person. He doesn't register you as a human. He's registering you as a fleshy body that he could fuck. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Picture that feeling.
Right.
But maybe 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And it's not about wanting your body as much as it is about hurting you.
Yeah.
And so in the show, there's all these scenes because they cut the power lines and it was very coordinated. And I didn't know that actually until I watched it. And they come in and there's these scenes of you watch people getting everything that they actually did. Fuck. And it is when you watch it, no, it is exactly how it's exactly what that feels like, except you survive. That's how when I watched it, I was like, oh. I'd never seen anything. You know Roots? Yeah. Your name is Toby. Yeah. It's like I can't relate to that. I've never been in that situation. Racism's bad, but no, I'm not hanging in the town square. Right. You know.
Yeah, it's a different.
It's a different thing. Watching it, people are in suits and they got cars and shit. Like,
kind of what you were saying about almost like the sneaky racism, even though it wasn't. But like of that, like the insidious nature of the dark side of racism that pretends it's not. Yeah. Is like a really interesting thing.
And it's interesting when you can see them and they feel comfortable to let it out. Right. They've been holding this in, and then Trump let them leak it out over 4 years, and then Biden won January, and they just let it out. Right. Like it's the darkness behind their eyes. It's so hard to describe. It's chilling.
I can't imagine.
And they want you dead and they don't even know why.
They don't know why. Right. And I feel like the part of the scary part is they think they're justified. Yeah. They think they're doing something in honor or of like a greater purpose.
This is for Thomas Jefferson.
Which is like the sickest, scary, like.
They think they don't morally.
Right. They don't know that they're evil. Right. Even though they are. Right. They think they're doing something morally correct, which is like the most disturbing part almost. Like.
It really is crazy. Yeah. And I think that's why I've been so obsessed with trying to be like, no, guys, you're being evil. Stop being evil, please. Right.
But it's like also that should be the emotional labor of other white folks,
right? Not
of black folks or any other minoritized community. Like,
yeah, but then I go back and forth
because like it's my job to yell at my uncle. Like, you shouldn't have to have that weight on you when you're literally already being.
I appreciate it.
Black and white, you know what I mean?
I appreciate it. I think that it's.
To be a criminal just for having a certain skin color is like an insane thing. Like, I'll just never know.
Yeah, it's bad. I think it's like I think about Martin Luther King Jr., Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, so the everyone. I think about all of those people, and I'm like, oh, y'all sacrificed so much. So I could be on a podcast with a white woman getting high and talking about comedy. You sacrificed your life. Like when Martin Luther King says, I have a dream, and I know it probably wasn't what he was picturing in his subconscious. Yeah. But this piece is a part of that dream. And it's like.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's a tiny sliver of the dream.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, it's my job, in my opinion. I know maybe I have a hero complex here. but it's my job to pass that torch. It's my job now. Okay, well, now I'm here and I have a microphone. It's my job to say, well, okay, well, this is what happens when we go to Indiana and I know it's uncomfortable for people, but I see those 5 lone black girls and I'm like, I know every day you're aware.
Oh,
and no one's saying it.
No one cares.
Right. No one gives a fuck because they're not even in a mean way. The 4 agreement. Hold on.
Four agreements.
Okay. Be impeccable. Don't take anything personal. I know that when those people are existing, they're not thinking about the way those girls are feeling. Not because they're mean. They're very nice. They're nice young 22-year-olds. Yeah. But because they're not living the experience. And so to me, it's like, well, this is what Chris Rock did for me, but I can do it in this room. Like they can feel, and their eyes lit the fuck. They were so excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone else was uncomfortable. Yeah. But
you're like, fuck up.
I was like, fuck you. Look, if I can get that footage, I'll show you.
Dude, you should, yeah. Okay.
But like, it's so satisfying. And when it started, when I was doing street stand-up, I don't know if I told you.
Street stand-up. Just hanging out on the street?
So, okay. I'm going to TLDR this, and I'll get you the detail later because I've said this a lot. But in short, during college, I play bass. I started...
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. I started busking, performing on the street for money during college, make extra money. Rapping and playing bass.
You were in California at this time?
And then a little before quarantine, before we knew what coronavirus really was, I was like, I'm not getting enough stage time. Chicago's amazing. Not getting enough stage time, and I'm frustrated. And Dave Chappelle's the GOAT. Yep. I know he did street stand-up. I'm going to do street. I know how to set up the equipment. I know yada yada. Do street stand-up for a few months. Everyone's like, Aaron, you're a fucking idiot. I'm out there for hours just talking, and sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. And I got into this weird, like when you watch me do stand-up, I think you'll be able to see the influence of that because it's the reason I sit and I'm like. Is because I got used to performing for hours, so I'm like, I'm not standing all the time. I'm gonna sit down.
Okay, word. Okay.
And so I did that for a few months. Then quarantine happens. The world goes crazy. Yada yada yada. A bunch of other stories. I'm not gonna tell you right now. I'll tell you later. Happen racially. The world. I mean, I'm sure you can only imagine. And then it opens up just a little bit. And I'm in a mixed conservative liberal area. I would describe it more underground conservative, but it's like out. And so I'm doing street stand-up again, and I'm the only game in town, and there's no performances. So people are like I'm really recognizable in where I was from.
Damn.
And so I'm performing. People are recognizing. Like I'm building an underground fan base. People know who I am. And then George Floyd dies, and I wasn't in LA. I wasn't in Chicago when that shit happened. Yeah. All of these stories I've told you, I'm sure you can imagine. I need to be at the protest.
Right.
This is where I belong. And I'm trapped in the suburbs. I can't go anywhere. And I'm surrounded by Trump flags and Blue Lives Matter flags. I was furious. I was so mad. And I was mad because when it happened, it didn't even register me as all that crazy. I was used to that happens all the time. We have a whole list of dead
It's only shocking to white people.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't shocking to me. I remember I was outside the bank. My mom ran into me. Well, I wasn't living with her at the time. And she was like, did you hear about George Floyd? I was like, no. And then she showed me. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you surprised? Like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like, how many George Floyds have there been?
So many
that don't even get recognized.
And so that happened. And then, but then the little piece of me, and I realized like, oh, this is becoming a big story. Yeah. Because no one else has anything. You can only watch Tiger King so many fucking times. Yeah. Yep. So like everyone's watching this.
Yeah.
And for a second, I was like, oh, they're gonna get it. My last little bit of hope.
I think some people did get it.
Yeah.
To a degree. Not to like an actual point where it makes a difference, but...
I got so many messages, and a lot of my black friends did. I got so many messages from people apologizing to me. Yeah.
What is that going to do? Like...
I got a lot of messages. And part of me is like, thank you, and the other part of me is like, okay. Now it takes a man death in a quarantine. So it's a mixed feelings. But regardless, that happened, and I was like, okay, fuck this. And so I would go out to those places, the most conservative places I could find, and I would just talk. I wouldn't even. It was not funny. And I mean, I sprinkled in some comedy here and there.
Yeah.
But like, I would just say, I had the little whiteboard out. I have pictures of all this in video, hundreds and hundreds of hours of video, where I would put Black Lives Matter on. I would be like, hey, fuck you. If someone had a problem with me, got screamed, I got called nigger constantly. I'll show you a video. I got called nigger constantly. People would drive by and they would just scream at me. And I got to this point, I got threatened. There was a point where I had to buy guns to protect my house. That's a whole other story. Yeah. And I got to this place of like, oh, okay, I sincerely might die doing this. I got the cops called on me. I got like, it's crazy shit. People threatening me. Fuck. And strangely enough.
It was weird. It was silly.
It was a strangely peaceful feeling.
Was it just because it was obvious now?
It was.
Like people weren't hiding it, or was it different?
It was peaceful. I mean, that headspace was peaceful in the sense that, like, I guess it is what we thought the world was in. Like, we didn't know what the fuck was happening, and so it was just like, okay, I guess this is how I go out. This is how I go out. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I was doing my performances, and I would have conservative people come up to me, and they would scream at me and call me a nigger or whatever. And the few people that were around, here we go. The few people
waiting for pairing.
Okay. Here, so you can get a sense of it.
Xbox got a PlayStation background, so I'm gonna keep up with the Spider-Man game. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right now, I've been fighting the sinister. What? All right. Oh wow. He said we were.
All the time. So I mean, I'm sure you're seeing our reactions. Yeah. Like that's nothing at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't even like register.
It was like, oh yeah, well, that's what they do.
Okay. Yeah.
and I remember, big groups of people on both sides would come up, and it would be crazy. It was pandemonium.
Yeah.
And I had so many. I couldn't even count how many times I would have like little black teenagers. I'd have families. I'd have people. I remember there's a couple, the kids, black couple. I think they had a kid in a stroller and another kid was younger. They came up and like, thank you so much. Like this is what you're doing is good. Keep doing it. Oh, yeah. I got so much encouragement, and it's why I probably come off so pretentious on stage when I talk about this, because it's like not a fucking game to me.
Yeah.
So, that's a rant.
Damn. Yeah.
I know this is technically your episode and the camera's on you, but this is a lot of me talking.
No, I wouldn't say I'm having a great time, but I'm enjoying the conversation.
Trans and masculinity.
What do you think about it?
Which part?
Both. Porque no les dos.
I'll start with trans. So clearly,
well, Dave Chappelle's your goat, right?
Dave Chappelle's my goat.
Yeah, he used to be. Yeah, he is the GOAT, dude. He was like my number one. I don't know if he's there anymore.
Right now it's a fight between him and Bill Burr for me.
Yeah.
But
so what do you think of his conceptualization of what the trans community is?
It's tough because I date trans women.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I think you did a joke about that. It was one of the first times that like I'd seen you around and stuff, and you made a joke about it, and I was like, oh, I respect that guy. And that was like the first time I like made note of you and was like, put on my radar. Like he seems cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So that's like a process.
Particularly, correct me if I'm speaking out of turn, in the black community.
Oh,
like
no, niggas homophobic as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have not said it on the South Side.
Yeah.
And I sincerely believe that's like, eventually I'll get to a place, whatever I can do that.
Yeah.
But I have to be I have to be in Super Saiyan 7.
Yeah.
On
your agreement's out. You better.
Yeah, I have to be like on it comedically to be able to express that.
Yeah.
Because they're not fucking with it.
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of history behind that.
Sure. Oh, it's all so rooted in everything. Yeah.
But to me, it's like in the same concept of I have this microphone. There's a responsibility in that, and I should say some shit because that's important. It's like if I don't say that, if I try to hide that, that's insulting to trans women to me.
Yeah.
So that's just my feelings on it. But
yeah, I fuck with that.
but I find trans women attractive, and I think one of the reasons of that is balance. So it's yin
What do you
yang. Yin yang. It's the divine feminine and the divine masculine, almost in harmony, if you could say. I think, like, I'm a goddamn man whore.
You're a slut.
Yeah, for real. That's why I'm so happy in a relationship. Like, that's why I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I get to have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
in the sexual end of things.
Yeah, sure.
But I think women are very attractive. Like on a physical level, it's just who I am, I guess. But they're fucking frustrating, and I enjoy being around men because it's like, oh, I can hang out. I don't need to worry about nothing. And I've talked to a fair amount of trans women, and they a lot of them have that perfect like, oh, okay, I see the femininity, but you're never going to be able to hide the fact that you grew up or were perceived as a dude, and there's something behind that.
So interesting. Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Talk more about that.
And I think that, it's not, it's funny. People will be like, well, that's transphobic. You're not acknowledging they're a woman. It's like, no, I'm acknowledging they're a woman, but they're a woman that experienced life as a dude.
Well, and you know what's interesting? That is so interesting you say that. Like, I kind of feel like we're in this stage of society where, like, we are just now beginning to accept trans people, right? Socially. And I feel like it's this thing of like, it's like when white people were like, hey, black people have rights. We're like, look, they're different. They deserve whatever.
Yeah.
And then it became like, no. Well, at first it was like color blindness, right? It was like, I don't see color. I don't see color. And I feel like that's where we are in the stage of like trans people. It's like, I don't see transness. And it's like, no. Now we've gotten to a point where we're like, no, black people are black people, white people are white people. Like, we should you should be proud of who you are, and we should acknowledge that and build that up, right? And I feel like it has to be the same for trans people, right? Like, yes, trans women are women, but shouldn't we also be building them up because of their transness? Like, you know what I mean? That's not something to hide. That's not something to feel bad about. That's just a thing that you are. That's awesome.
Yes.
Why are we pretending that you're not trans? Or not that people are, but I feel like in society we're like...
I think, if I'm to make a stab at it, I think what it is, if I'm to compare, it is when growing up in the suburbs and being surrounded by white people, is when people say, well, you're not acting black. So I think they're internalizing the acknowledgement of the trans thing, and the potential implication behind that is, well, you're not really a woman,
right?
By acknowledging it, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a fucking difference between a man who grew up in Africa and is from Africa and a black person in America. Yeah. I think Black Panther, you saw that movie?
I did see Black Panther. Yeah. I liked it one. Yeah, it was great.
If you didn't see it, you're racist. But that movie really presented the dichotomy of what it is for black Americans versus Africans. Sure. Like, we're not the same thing. It's a different culture in a lot of ways. And so to me, it's we're both black, but it's in a different angle. Yeah. To me, trans women...
It's so nuanced, too.
Right.
Of the whole...
It's complicated.
Yeah.
And trans women, to me, are women from a different angle. Like, it just is what it is. Yeah. So, and I struggle. It's funny because my introduction to trans women, I would probably, if I can remember correctly, probably be porn. You're a kid, like, you're on the internet, and that's,
Yeah, sure.
And I think what's frustrating about that is that, like, I don't want to fetishize. But when you're
which is a good distinction to make, because it's, any like preference, I feel like,
hey, it's aligned.
You gotta, yeah. It's, even people that are like, I like Mexican guys, and it's like, do you only fuck Mexican guys? Like, are you know what I mean? It's like, that feels weird.
What's behind?
Or is that like just like you're just like, oh, they're hot? Like, there's difference,
Do you appreciate the culture?
Yeah. Are you using them as a token because it makes you feel? Yeah, it's like a whole. Yeah,
do you eat at Taco Bell? Don't date a Mexican.
Right.
No, So I sincerely struggle. I'm not even gonna put the past tense on it with it now, because it's like the going, how do I put it? It's for my own, I guess you could say, ego or whatever. It's by fetishizing it. I can remove myself and be like, well, this is just like I ain't gay. Like that's the that's the thought process.
Yeah.
But then when you sit down, like I've talked to trans women that I'm not attracted to. For me, you have to be really feminine. You know what I mean? And so for me, if you're not really feminine, I'm just not physically. I support you, I'll listen to you, but I'm not physically attracted.
Don't want to fuck you.
And so, that's simple as that. And so I listen to them in those situations, and it's just very interesting. And I have a lot of respect for it because you're deciding to ruin your life is not the right word, but you're making a decision to make your life harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't have that decision, and that there's a different type of pain that comes with that.
Yeah.
But to know, like, if I want to, I can lie for the rest of my life, and my life will be at least okay. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna inject myself with hormones and get surgeries and put on a wig and walk like that. Like,
it's so visible.
Right.
It's not like anything you can do. It's like you're changing your whole perceived identity.
And that's I just hold a lot of respect to that.
Yeah.
And then, but on the other hand, Dave Chappelle, when he said the line that always hits me the most is when he said, "How is it that Jenner, what is it, Caitlyn Jenner, why is it that Caitlyn Jenner can change their name and it took Cassius Clay 30 goddamn years to be like, oh, I want to be Muhammad Ali."
Totally. Yeah.
It's like, oh, because you're white.
Right. Well, that was interesting to me. It's like I understand those arguments, and I'm like, okay, cool, I get that. But I'm also like, is he forgetting that black trans people exist? You know what I mean? I'm like, there's so much intersectionality. Black trans women specifically are the most murdered people on the planet. And I'm like, you are also, by trying to make this point to help the black community, I recognize that totally. And he's right. Like, Caitlyn Jenner should die. She just sucks. She's a terrible fucking human being. I hate her. Like, she just sucks. But like, he's right about that. But I'm also like, but what about the people that are the black women now that are maybe getting harmed because you're doing these jokes? The black trans women. You know what I mean? Or like any trans women or any trans man or any like. Okay.
So before I start speaking on this, I know exactly what you're saying.
Put me in my place if you need to.
Oh no. I'm gonna make the for sake of argument, I'm going to make the opposite argument. I know exactly what you're saying, but I'm going to push against whatever you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that is two things. One thing, it's people projecting their intent on his comedy. Mm-hmm. And he's made it clear through his whole career, this is about white people.
True.
True. Yeah. Okay. That even when he made that like 7-minute clip, I don't know if you saw that.
I sure did.
Where he was like, this isn't about LGBT. This isn't about any of that. This is about what is it? The media and what I can and can't say, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. It's the trans thing is a hot button topic right now, so it's being used as to prove a point of some kind.
It's like hateful people are going to use whatever they can to be hateful, for sure. They're going to see that and be like, oh, I can be more hateful.
Right.
If I see that, like whatever.
If this was 2002, it would be gay people.
Sure. Yeah.
So
totally.
So I think that this is the thing that we're all talking about. Mm-hmm. And I also think, and this is reference to Bill Burr, this nigga's old. How old is Dave Chappelle?
No, totally. Yeah, he's in like 50, right? No, late 40s.
How old is Dave Chappelle, Jamie?
I'm going to say 49.
49?
Jamie. Look that up, Jamie.
Hold up. Spot on.
I got it?
Yeah, he's 49 years old. And yes, people change and they grow, stay aware, whatever. But like at the same time, I'm 31 and I'm irritated with these middle schoolers and the things they're doing. And I'm like, I don't understand you.
No, I get it, yeah.
And so there is something to be said about like, this is a 49-year-old black man's perspective on this. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Of course he's going to feel that way.
Totally. Can I make maybe a counterpoint?
Oh, please.
How we were kind of talking, like, you were like, oh, I have this responsibility. I have a microphone in front of me, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Chappelle has always felt that way. That's why Chappelle's always done the most transgressive, subversive comedy out there, because he knows it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, like, you have all this power. Everyone trusts you, and everyone believes you because you're a fucking genius. And it's like, There is a point where it's like, yeah, like you are not responsible for what other people do.
Right.
He's not. I don't believe he's trying to push hateful rhetoric. I don't think he's intentionally trying to do that. I think he's unintentionally doing it. I don't think he's intentionally trying to do it. And it's like, but it's like at a certain point, it's like there's a power behind your words, and you know it, and you've built your career on it, whether you wanted to or not. You know?
Yeah, I definitely concede to that.
Yeah.
That
it's a weird thing, right? Like,
right, but. Okay, this is my job to make an argument.
Do it. Do it.
So you're right. You're right. That his speech, I am so confident that, and I think I've heard some trans people say this, that has inspired other dumb fucks to interpret it the way they want to interpret and hurt people.
Sure.
Absolutely. Are you religious?
No.
Okay.
I grew up religious. I'm not religious.
Do you think I'm religious?
I think you're spiritual.
Nice, bro.
What are you
Let
religious?
me get my sage. Yeah, I think by modern standards you would call it spiritual.
Okay.
I say religious because it's the spirituality is under the construct of religions. It puts context to it. So I would describe myself as half Christian, half Buddhist.
Oh.
So that's why I got the.
I love Life of Pi.
Thank you. That's why I got the chakras right there.
Oh, perfect.
That's why I do my meditation. That's
Okay.
why I learn about the.
You meditate.
Yeah.
Do you find it helps you?
Yes.
I've been thinking about getting into it. Trying to.
I'll send you some shit.
Seeing what's up.
Yeah. Oh, Ooh. Okay, we can go down.
Well, let's take on this, and then we'll talk about meditation later.
Okay, you have to remind me because I won't
will.
remember. So I don't think it's religions that cause the problems. I think it's how dumb fucks interpret the religions and sneaky fucks use the religions to trick dumb fucks. So politics is not bad. Donald Trump using politics to trick dumb fucks is very, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
You need... It's tough even saying this because of the touch 2022, but you need you do need what conservatives think they are. Conservatives think they're king of the hill. They think they're Hank Hill.
Yes.
They're not.
Yes.
But they think they're Hank Hill.
Yeah.
And you need Hank Hill.
Yeah.
Have you seen King of the Hill?
King of the Hill? Yeah. I don't watch it thoroughly,
Right.
but I
But
know.
you know,
Yeah, I know the references.
Hank Hill is what a Republican should be.
Yes.
A person who is conservative about
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Has a moral compass and is probably a little stuffy.
And makes choices based on rationality. Like,
yes, very logic thinking.
yeah,
Rule
not this
following.
like sheep mentality. I mean, liberals do too. It's like
Right.
it's a whole thing.
But Hank Hill is the perfect example of a conservative, where I'm like, okay, yeah,
the rational conservative.
a true rational
Yeah.
conservative. Where if I were to talk to that guy in real life, I'd be like, oh, I don't agree with everything you're saying, but like, you seem like a reasonable dude.
Right.
And I think conservatives want us to treat them like that, but it's like, well, no, you want.
None of you are acting that way.
Yeah, you're not You have
Yeah.
not presented enough.
Totally.
Right. So that's what I think about religion is that it's not the religions. I'm sure Buddhists have fucked people up too. It's people in those religions. And it's like, it's not stand-up comedy that is how do I put it? Like, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
It's like nobody that wasn't hateful already is going to see that and be like, oh, I hate trans people. Like, no one's doing that.
Right. It's
people who wanted a reason.
By speaking, he has given them inspiration to do what they're doing.
Totally.
But he has never at one point said.
No, I agree. It's like,
Right.
I don't, It's like, I'm not putting these hate crimes on him.
Right.
I'm just saying it feels like there is a natural responsibility that like he's sort of neglecting.
Okay.
In a sense.
Then I would ask to you, how would he approach it to make it so that wouldn't happen? Acknowledge all the bullshit that the trans community and white trans community specifically
Sure.
is doing without anybody reacting the way they would react.
Yeah, good
Is
point.
it even possible?
I don't think it is.
Then
No.
what ultimately the argument would be, then he should not say anything.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know what? Really good questions. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my thing about like the trans communities. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to speak on black folk because I am not a black folk. Like, I am not going to talk about trans people because I'm not a trans people. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't know, you know?
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. And I feel like Maybe you're right. Maybe it's like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say Dave Chappelle shouldn't say what he's gonna say. Dave Chappelle's amazing. Like he's the perfect comic. But like,
can I make an argument?
Yeah. Because I have mixed feelings about it. I don't know.
think he should say what he's saying because he's making me feel heard. And I'm the younger generation who can then articulate this.
Interesting.
If Eddie Murphy doesn't say faggot in Delirious and isn't hilarious in Delirious in 1980 whatever, then you don't get Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle who then do this. Then you don't get Aaron Chase.
Totally.
I'm comparing myself to all of them.
No. Yes. Okay. Interesting point. I agree with that. I also think he's not doing anything interesting comedically. He has not. Once he said he's done this for 4 specials now.
It's a lot.
He just keeps, and it's like at this point, I feel like you are just you. This. I mean, okay.
Oh, I'm excited.
This is not meant to be inflammatory, but I feel like it's.
I have to pee. I'm listening to everything you're saying. Okay. We're still rolling.
He is not as insane as Kanye, but like Kanye, no one says no to him, right?
Nobody does.
Nobody says no. Dave Chappelle's at that level in comedy. No one's saying no to him. No one's like, maybe not a hot take, Dave. Like, maybe don't do that. And I feel like he's just wearing it to death, like this trans thing.
Yeah.
That and no one's saying no because he's the GOAT. Who's gonna say no to him? You know. That I'm like, maybe he should edit himself a little bit. You know.
I hear what you're saying.
Because I don't think it's his best comedy. Well, wait.
You gotta keep talking because I don't edit.
Okay, I'll keep talking. I'm going to keep talking out of my ass because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying my opinions, but...
Okay. So... It's the dumbest podcast. So with all of that, God damn it, can you summarize what you just said?
I feel like it's just not even his best work is the thing. I feel like it's getting watered down and boring because he's saying the same thing over and over because he's just got like a chip on his shoulder because no one's telling him no, and he's like, I can do it. Right.
I would say then this is why Bill Burr is he's in battle with me. So internally, it's like it's either Bill Burr or it's Dave Chappelle is my number one guy.
I've been fucking batting bitches away. They're like, fuck Dave Chappelle. I'm like, no, Dave Chappelle's the GOAT. I'm like, I can't keep doing it, Dave. You got to give me something, Dave.
Right. But we'll see it in his next special because he did say that was the last time he was going to do.
Well, I thought that was I thought the closer was his last thing for a long time.
Yeah. So I think he's taking time and then he's going to make a new special about something else. Yeah. I think.
Please. Yes. Please, Dave. You're a genius. Use your mind to talk about anything else.
What you were saying about Bill Burr was what you were saying about Bill. What I was saying about Bill Burr. what you were saying about Dave Chappelle of like no one's questioning him.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's whole thing is question me, go fuck myself. Right. Yeah. So I think it keeps him grounded enough.
Sure. Yeah.
He's at. Did you see his talk with Bill Maher? I think this past.
I didn't.
Have you ever listened to Bill fucking Maher?
A little bit.
It is.
It's something.
I just wince every time he opens his fucking mouth and he talks about geography. And like Bill Burr's like trying to make jokes. He's making a joke about how, Germany's small, but it tried to take over. And Bill Burr's like, Germany's actually not small. You're a well actually as a human being.
Yeah.
And so but Bill Burr, when I listen to him, like he navigates it so smooth. He really has hit this everyman stride.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
And I think that when Dave Chappelle does something so legendary as leaving the Chappelle Show the way he did, it makes you a legend, and now it's weird. Mm-hmm. So he is the GOAT, but at the same time, it is like I am tired of hearing about.
It's a similar thing to how I feel about. Well, I don't think this person's nearly as talented as Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is like the best comedian that's ever lived. But like in Joe Rogan, like I don't hate Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I hate the people who are obsessed with him and believe every single word that's out of his mouth. It's not his fault you believe everything he says. It's your fault. It's like if Dave Chappelle says something that I don't agree with, okay, I don't agree with that. Yeah. It's your fault if you're causing a fight or you're doing whatever because of what he said. That's on you. Like you can't. Like that's not on him.
It's so tough.
Yeah.
I think what it is I think really the answer is it's really complicated.
Dude.
It's just all really complicated. Speaking of masculinity. Do you find yourself dating weak men?
Man, Interesting question. You know, the men that I don't date a bunch per se. I hook up, like that kind of a thing.
Hot.
I don't like develop relationships almost ever. Well, you've heard about my mom.
I have.
No, I mean, honestly, I was a really late bloomer. I didn't start having sex till I was 21.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it weird when you were 20? Like, by the time you hit 21, was it like...
I grew up in a religious school. I was also like, I didn't like date in high school. Like all my friends were like dating other boys and I like didn't. They didn't like me. I was like a weirdo. I don't know. It's probably why I did stand up, like whatever. But I just was a super late bloomer. And so like, what was the original question? Sorry.
Do you date weak or do you fuck weak men?
Yeah. So I find the people that I'm like more interested in spending time with are like people that are different than me. And I have a very strong personality. So usually like softer men, dudes that are more chill than I am. Whereas the men that I like just want to sleep with are like absolute nightmares and are
like backwards hat, goatee, dude bro type shit.
Kinda. Yeah. Like that. But like not like as rednecky as you're thinking. More like I'm going to be mean to you and like not care about you very much.
Okay. Like a fuckboy. Just a fuckboy.
A fuckboy, but like, yeah, like older guy. Like imagine a fuckboy, but like an older guy.
Okay.
That's kind of the type of dude I'm into.
A mature fuckboy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's who you're sexually attracted to, but you emotionally connect to softer men.
Yes.
Oh, you have friend zoned so many guys probably. There's a lot of guys that are upset listening to this right now. Oh my God. Okay. So...
Well, it's like that's the great overlap. If I'm into you, if I want to fuck you and you're like a soft guy, then I'm like, yeah.
Okay. I'm not asking this question. Obviously, we've talked about I can't say girlfriend. I'm okay. Well, let's gush a little bit and then we'll get back to Hey. I did not say that word. I'm one of the things I used to do that fucked me up was I took everything was a rush. This is where meditation slows me down.
Interesting.
So, I would rush everything. What's up?
No, keep talking. I have something to follow up with maybe if you keep talking.
I would rush everything in my life. I was like trying to sprint to my death. I was just like, let me get this fucking over with.
Yeah.
Fuck. And so I now that I've slowed down within relationships, I was like, let me just do different shit. Let me approach this differently because I've been doing the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so I approach this as slow as I can. And she's approaching this as slow as she can. And weirdly enough, in doing that, it makes us want to move faster. And every time we start doing that, we say,
It's the tension.
Yeah. Slow. It's fine. We got time.
Uh-huh.
We're good. It's good. And the distance, because of her job and like not living, it's like, okay, I have to just talk to her.
Yeah.
I have to make sure, if I'm in the kitchen with her and she breaks a plate, am I going to want to grab the piece of the plate and stab her in her jugular?
Right.
No, that's not going to happen because I know I can communicate with her.
Because you pace this. Yeah.
Right. I'm pacing as much as possible. Does that make sense?
No. What I was going to add is like I thought you were going to go in that direction because my style is like just hook up for a couple months, whatever, cool, whatever, we're friends, move on. And this one guy recently that I like, I have a crush on, and I think I like him, kind of. I don't know. I don't know. But like we almost hooked up recently.
Okay.
And we like weirdly like started hooking up, and then we were both just like, this is weird, right? And I was like, yeah, it's weird. And I was like, I couldn't figure out why it was weird because we were both like, yeah, I'd fuck you, I'd fuck you too, like yeah, for sure. And then I was like, oh no, I think it's because I like him, and because I like him, I don't want to just fuck. Like I can just fuck whoever, you know, that's whatever. But it's like I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want it to be like.
Do you think he feels the same way?
Probably not. I don't know.
Have you communicated? That's probably. Have you asked? Ooh, let's go. Four agreements. Four agreements. What, shit. Oh, I lost it. I accidentally looked up Dave Chappelle. Hold on a second.
Damn it.
4 agreements.
Here's the definition of agreement.
No, you fuck. 4. The 4 of them. 4 agreements. Okay, what are the 4 agreements?
One of them is be honest with yourself, right?
No, it was don't take anything. Don't make assumptions.
Don't make assumptions.
That's
true.
So you'd have to talk to him about it.
But what if he doesn't like me? That's why, it scares. I hate rejection. Is terrifying.
Yeah,
terrifying for me.
I think that's what is been. I think that's why I'm so happy, is because I have expressed many times. Just so you know,
Yeah.
This is everything.
Yeah.
So you better take care of this. And she's been like, just so you know, this is everything. So
Yeah.
you better take care of this little fucking everything.
Yeah.
And there's a responsibility that I'm feeling, I
Yeah.
suppose. And so I think that's also helping the triad stuff, is because the way I would approach it before was selfish. Like I did want that community, that was a thing, but I approached it with this like this, but me, but like
Yeah.
yeah, which is cool. Like that's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
part of it, but it's
For sure.
it's more complicated than that. And now every step of the way, I'm like, how do you feel about this?
I'm like, check in.
Are you good? Yeah. You said that kind of. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just make.
Yeah.
There's
Communication, baby.
communication. So I think I'm curious. Okay. I have two questions.
Okay.
Two questions. First one's gonna be about me,
Yes.
and
You're
then
gonna ask me a question about you?
I'm gonna ask you a question about me, your perception of
Okay.
me, and then I'll go from there because we'll see. Obviously, spectrum, yada yada yada. But if you were to, in this conversation, if you were to
Okay.
put me in one of those categories, what would you put me in?
Which category? What do
You
you
said the category, and this is not me asking to fuck, obviously.
Oh.
The category
No.
of the guy you would fuck, that guy that
Yeah.
you're picturing, goatee guy.
mean? Yeah.
Um,
You're soft boy.
I'm soft boy.
You're soft boy.
Interesting.
To me.
And that's how you perceive me now.
Correct. Well, yeah. Usually, I mean, there's like a middle ground, but like
Yeah, there's
you're
always a
somewhere in
middle
the
ground.
You're somewhere in the middle. But
I'm somewhere in the middle, but if you had to put me
You're
somewhere,
more of a softie to me.
why?
Yeah. Because you listen.
Okay.
And you are also interested in things. Well, not everyone actually. I feel like when I think of, honestly, when I think of like soft men, I think like, are men going to listen to me more than they talk?
I talked a lot about stuff.
Yeah, but it was like a mutual understanding of like, no, this is my time to talk. I was listening, and then you had like the emotional awareness.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of guys don't have that, weirdly, of like, oh, this person wants to talk about this. We'll talk about this. I need to talk about this. We'll talk about this. And it's like that's what communication is. Like that's
Communication.
And I feel like that's what a lot of dudes like like especially comedians, like that's all hang out around. You know what I mean? They just want to be as loud as possible for as long as possible. And it's like, can you just listen for once in your life?
Can I say something on the comedy aspect of that?
Please.
That to me is real. Did you ever act?
Very briefly in like high school / early college.
Okay. I
Theater.
think performance in general or acting is reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that applying that to stand up, I look forward to watching you do stand. I want to hit the road. Let's do
it, dude.
We'll
Let's
do that
fucking
shit.
do it. Yeah.
Because I want to watch your comedy because I'm curious because you said it sounded performy, and it's. Do you listen to the audience?
I try to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really important. That's what I got on the South Side. Is you have to listen to the audience. You have to feel the audience.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's a pulse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm soft boy. Interesting. Now, what do you, based off what I've said so far, do you think that changes if you were to talk to 26-year-old me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
In what way?
I don't think at 26 you have the self-awareness
Yeah, that's fair.
to be as like emotionally present as you are.
Okay. And
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you're like.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. We're vibing, man. We're vibing. You just let me know if I get too weird.
No, go for
Okay.
it. Go for it.
Okay, so hypothetically, I'm not a comedian. I don't have a girlfriend. Everything is you, but I'm a Tinder swipe, and I'm your first
Yeah.
date, and this has kind of been the conversation.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't fuck you on the first date.
Okay.
I would definitely keep going out with you though.
Okay. This guy, is he a softie or is he
He's a soft.
He's
Yeah.
a softie.
Well, that's
Oh,
the thing
okay.
is like if I will fuck people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like a
Yeah.
prude. Like
Yeah.
if I'm into you, like I'll fuck you or whatever. And I like couldn't fuck him, and I was like, I think it's just because I like want to get to know him. Gross. Ew.
Does he give what? Obviously, we're different people. 'Cause I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Sure.
Brad. Now, Brad is the.
Brad's rough.
Yeah, this
Brad's
is
rough.
Toby.
Let's say Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Let's say it's
Okay.
not his name's not Mark, but he's like a Mark vibe.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah.
So this has been Mark the whole time.
Yeah.
However you feel about Mark, because I don't know Mark and your history with Mark, except the conversation's been like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you think that Mark is interested in the same way?
So you're Mark and you just had this conversation.
Hypothetically, I'm Mark, and I've had whatever version Mark would have just had. I don't know what Mark talks about.
Oh, okay. I was like, because like I know you don't want to fuck me. I'm like,
Right,
no,
right,
of course
right.
you wouldn't be into me.
But I'm hypothetically, this whole conversation has been you and Mark.
Yeah.
And Mark has said all the things I've said, but his version of whatever that is. I hope this is making sense.
I'm kind of.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
half there.
piece it together.
I'm
We'll
half
piece it
there. I'm
together.
half there.
Would you say to Mark, like, hey, I'm actually interested in like going on a real date?
I probably will. But yeah.
Oh, you will?
I will probably.
Do you-
I'm pretty bold.
Okay.
I just have to like emotionally prepare myself for rejection in case it happens.
Do you know what you want in the future? Like, what do you picture as a healthy relationship?
God, great question. I honestly think just like this is so fucking gay. It's like I like
Yeah, you're from the 90s.
like I would love someone who's just like kind of there. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who, because I don't want to be around most people most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very particular about who I hang around. I can hang around anybody for like a given amount of time, but I'm very particular about who I spend a lot of time with. So like I have like 3 best girlfriends who like I want to be with 24/7, and I could be around all the time, and like we'd have little arguments, but like we'd just be great together always. And I've never met a dude that I felt that way about.
Until Mark?
Well, probably not Mark either.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
be
see.
real. But like, yeah. And I mean, like I've like casually dated people, but never anything where like.
Is that because it's always gone sexual?
Well, I think sex is part of it. Well, I think sex is like a good part of it.
Yeah.
I think probably I was not as sexually attracted to these people as I was emotionally. And so I think that's the thing too of like, if you're with this person and you're just emotionally into them and like the physical stuff isn't there, it's not always awesome either.
Okay. Now with Mark, are you sexually attracted?
Yeah, but I can't fuck him yet. And I don't know why. Do you know that like thing, like when you're hooking up with somebody and you like there's just either a spark or there isn't. Like you either want to jump their bones and you don't.
Yeah.
And it's like I physically want to, I just weirdly didn't when it was presented to me.
I'm going to actually add a little caveat to that.
Yeah.
In that as a dude, I think it might be a little different.
Yeah. Oh, I'm certain.
And that my standards for that are probably far lower than yours.
Well, this is the weird thing too. Is like we started to hook up, or like we're like on our way there. Like we were both into it, and then we kind of both were like, "This is weird, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was weird. Why was it weird?" He's like, "I want to fuck you." I was like, "I want to fuck you too." And so I can't wrap my mind around it. I don't know what's up.
He has the emotional awareness to stop because how old is he?
Late 20s, like 27, 28.
Late 20s? Okay. I've had times where in my head I'm like, I don't want to have sex with this person, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Guys
Really?
do that all the time.
Oh.
And then that's why we have that post-nut remorse.
Oh, interesting.
I'm sure Mark has I'm projecting, but I'm sure Mark has,
Mark, who are you calling him Mark?
I'm sure Mark has had sex with
I'm
someone.
certain Mark's not the one, like the one. But like he's an example of many dudes that could have been the one that I just will never know.
Maybe talk to him.
I might. Yeah.
I don't believe in the one.
I don't really either.
I think that's why I have the 2.
You fucking suck.
No, I think that I think that's the other thing I like about the triad thing is that it makes so much sense. Can you hear this is what I was telling her. I should come up with a fake name for her. I'm gonna call her Scotty.
Scotty?
Mm-hmm. There's context for that I'm not gonna give you.
Okay.
So Scotty. I remember when I first started talking to Scotty. I told you she came to see a show. Mm-hmm. She came to see a show, and thank God it went well. It went really well.
That's always the question, isn't it? You never know.
Yeah, it was a real gamble.
Nice.
But it went well, and I told her like my mentality of going on Bumble this time was like, I don't have the emotional energy to. I'm busy.
Yeah.
And so I came in with that energy of like, I'm here. Just here. This is what I want.
Totally.
And so I told her about 10 minutes in the conversation, like, hey, just so you know, this is future. This is my sincerely, like, this is the type of relationship I picture myself in.
Right.
And she was like, oh, all right. And so we talked about it for 2 days, basically. And then after 2 days, she was like, gung ho. She was like, I'm in that shit. So here's my logic, and here's where I picture as a relationship. It's not I'm start practically. Financially, it just makes sense. 3
Okay.
people living it, if obviously not here, but this would be aggressive if it was here. This could be a reality
This would
show.
just be an
if 3 people
orgy
lived
every
here.
day.
Yeah, right? But no, I want to have a house, not in the burbs, but in like the cusp of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to have a house and have some property, and probably buy some more property and then rent that out, like make money for myself and shit. And it's like, okay, well, if I have a house, and all 3 of us live there, we're all in a relationship, everyone gets their own room, but we can have a same room.
See,
we're good
that
there.
is the ticket, though.
Right? Everyone's putting in their money on the house, so that makes life just cheaper.
Don't the dynamics get kind of muddied?
Okay, I'm listening.
Like, so you said that, like, Scotty, like, you've, like, never felt this way. Like,
Yeah.
this is, like, a really rare feeling for you. What are the odds that this third person is, like, you're going to feel that way about? And, like, and if you don't, how do you navigate the different, because, like, the relationship you have with this person is going to be a different relationship than Scotty has with this person. And it's going to be a different relationship than you have with Scotty.
Yes.
So it's like, how does that all factor in?
My first answer to that, and probably the ultimate answer, is I don't know and we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the sake of conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. I am taking this one moment
Yeah.
at a time. And that's what's been working.
Yeah.
Is it's like, we've had hiccups. We've had moments of like, stumble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, well, we're walking very slow, so it's fine.
Sure.
But I think that's what makes it cool.
Huh.
Is
dig that.
the way my experiences with Scotty are not going to be my experiences with whoever this person is, and vice versa. And so you build bonds in this is a completely different person.
Totally.
So I'm sure you've had friends. I'm sure you have maybe you have a best friend or a group. There's usually like groups, right? Like trios. You have friends where there's,
Yeah. We've had, I've
And-
some friend trios.
and sure, you love them in completely different. They're just different people.
Right.
And it doesn't stop you all from hanging out. It
Right.
doesn't mean you all need to be together all the time.
Totally.
Doesn't mean you all need to, like, when you're hanging out, those 2 can hang out. And you can be doing your own shit. Or, oh, this person's gone, now you're hanging. I think people think of it as like such a big headache because they're picturing like twins, like this person and this person. It's like, no, everyone's an individual and you have to keep that in mind.
I guess what I may be factoring in is like jealousy.
Yeah, we talked about that. And that's
Because like I'm a very jealous person. Something I
Okay.
need to work on. Or like, yeah.
that's where the idea of community comes in. It's that's not to say that those feelings don't come up and has been discussed on both ends. Like people think like, oh, so he just gets the bitches and it's like, no, I would get
There's
jealous. Like
emotional shit going on.
this is a person I can like.
Yeah.
I've connected with this person now.
Yeah.
Someone, I don't give a fuck, man or a woman. Someone's coming into that
Right.
territory,
Right.
and is going to take some of that energy.
Yep.
So there's not to say I couldn't get jealous too, but it's like because everyone's ideally on the same page and communicating. It's if someone's like, I'm feeling jealous, you say, I'm feeling jealous. And we say,
Right.
oh, why are you feeling jealous?
Right.
Oh, is there something that can be done to mitigate that?
Yeah.
Like, it's
It seems so
communication.
simple, but I feel like it is complex in well, not complex, but it is more difficult said than done. More difficult done than said.
Said than done.
Easier said than done. More
Easier said
difficult
than done.
done than
Easier
said.
said than done. Yeah, because I will admit it's in the very beginning of like going on I'm not gonna say the dating app, going on a dating app. It was like, oh, this is crazy. This is wacky. Pictures together in the same, we have the same password to it. This is crazy. And then as time goes on, and we talk to more and more women, I'm like, oh man, this is actually going to be really hard. Like, this is going to be very hard to find, partly because of the distance stuff.
Oh wait, we probably talked about this the other day. So you're like interested in women.
Yeah.
Is Scotty bisexual?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This would not work if she was.
Yeah, I was like, I need to know the dynamic.
Yeah. Like if I was bisexual, if I was attracted to men,
Right.
then that's
Yeah.
what we would probably do. But I'm just not.
Yeah.
So she's and there's too much testosterone. It gets aggressive. It's too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's bisexual.
Word. I assumed. I was just curious.
And so it's been interesting because we have ran into people who are really cool. It's like, oh, that's interesting. And then it just falls apart. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Well, damn, that's quick, huh?
Really fast. She's learning the male perspective and I'm learning the female perspective.
Yes.
So I'm like, let's just fucking whatever. This is how guys swipe, by the way.
No. I've seen it. Don't even look. They don't
Yeah.
even look.
Yeah. And then she's like, she'll take 3 goddamn days to send a message.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Girl,
they're not
man,
going to
we
stay
suck.
engaged if you do that. And so, but then there was this. Let me be careful with how I speak because we're talking about humans. There was this person we were talking to who was being vague. They were like vague in the sense that they just weren't pussyfooting around. I don't have the energy for that. And so we were both like, okay. Just ask, what are you looking for exactly?
Yeah.
And we got such a bullshit message back. I won't say what it is. I'll tell you after this when we turn the mics off. But the message was just so like, oh, did you even listen to what we just said to you? Like, we're asking you, what is it that you want here? And if it's not what we want, it's fine. Like,
yeah.
So that I think a lot of it's communication, in my opinion. Oh, are you ready? This is how we're going to end the podcast.
Oh, what?
I'm trusting you with this thing.
Okay.
Okay? If you don't lose it.
What?
Don't lose it, and I need it back.
I won't lose it. What am I not losing? I'm stressed now. What is this? Oh, hell yeah. All right, dude.
I have yet to watch that. I watched it on HBO. I bought it because I knew immediately, like, I need to buy this. I have yet to watch it from the disc. So you are.
This is very special.
It's very special.
I will watch it within the week.
Don't fuck this up.
I won't do it. I won't fuck it up.
Yeah.
I won't. You'll never trust a white woman again.
I would. Yeah. And I have some pretty dark stories of why.
This is the darkest though.
This would be the darkest. So please, you have a lot of responsibility.
I won't fuck it up.
Yes.
I promise you.
For the black
I'll shake your
community.
hand.
All right.
I promise you.
For the black community. We gotta take this picture and all right, cool.
Oh yeah.